Record.
Good evening, Shabbat Shalom. I am Shilikah, Rabbi Vincent P. Adams. I'm co-founder of SIM along with my lovely wife, Neviah Leslie Adams. And we want to welcome you to our evening Shabbat celebration this January 4th, 2013. And glad to have you. Hopefully you've been keeping up with us over the past weeks and months. And if you have, you know that we are in a quad series, a series on the Aleph Beit, the Trinity, the 10 Sephiroth, and biblical astronomy and astrology. It's very difficult to talk about one of those subjects without talking about the other in some respect. So I decided to do a quad series, and where we would we'd have overlap from one subject to the next. Even though the title, say, of one week's lessons may be the Trinity, it may indeed sound like we're talking about the Aleph Beit or the 10 Sephiroth, or even biblical astronomy and astrology. Like I said, if you've been following us, you've been able to see that overlap and that interlocking, interwoven pattern between those four topics. But we've taken a break from the series the past few weeks over the holidays due to some deaths in my immediate family and the fact that I had to be out of town for a couple of weeks and then tend to my deceased brother's estate even after I returned back here to Oklahoma. And also I saw the need to do a little bit more teaching, or what I should say, on the Hebrew language itself, the Aleph Beit in the Hebrew language itself. And over the past three lessons that have covered 2 weeks now, we have actually introduced the actual Aleph Beit to you. And we've so far have done 3 lessons. Tonight will be the 4th lesson, Hebrew lesson number 4. And tomorrow afternoon, we will do Hebrew lesson number 5. And these 5 lessons are very foundational to your study of Hebrew. If you study these 5 lessons and practice them, you will be able to read and pronounce Hebrew correctly. I'm not saying you're going to sound like a native speaker. You know, some people have a talent for it and others don't. But you will be able to read and pronounce Hebrew and say your prayers and read various Hebrew texts and pronounce it correctly. There's a great deal of power in praying in Hebrew and being able to read the letters and know what those letters are and pronounce them correctly. There are a lot of different books out there today for Christians, non-Hebrew speakers, in which certain prayers and phrases and texts from the Bible are actually written in Hebrew that you can pray. You know, some of them are transliterated phonetically, where, you can, what do they call that? Phonetically written so that you can pronounce them, or like phonics. And it's not really the correct spelling of that Hebrew word, but the way phonetically that it's written out, you will pronounce the Hebrew word correctly. But hey, let's go one better than that. Let's actually be able to look at the Hebrew letters, the Masoretic text, with the dots and dashes, and actually be able to read that Hebrew. There's a lot more power there when you can look at those letters and read them and pronounce them correctly, because you're looking directly at the Hebrew. It does something, coming in through the eye gate, it does something to you on a spiritual level. So you'll be able to do that with these 5 lessons. Now, just, tonight's lesson will be a short lesson. And tomorrow will be a relatively short lesson. Like I said, we've kept things relatively simple over the holiday season, kind of made it easy on myself, and probably a little easier on you too. Give you a break from such, we were in such deep material before I began this study. And now, we sort of eased up a bit. We'll start getting back into that deep material a little bit next week. And next week is our inaugural service from our new facility, located at 728 Main Street in Jinx, Oklahoma. And so this we sent out a lot of email blasts. We will continue to advertise that. Next Friday night is also Rosh Kadesh. So our inaugural, this happened this way, didn't plan it. Our inaugural service in our new facility at 728 West Main Street is going to occur or coincide with our Rosh Kadesh celebration. And as such, we will also have a star party. We will sight the new moon, bless the new moon, and we'll also look at it and the constellation and stars using a very sophisticated electric telescope that has its own sophisticated GPS system for tracking the stars and the constellations. We can simply dial in the name of a constellation or a star, and using its GPS system, it will rotate, turn, level off, and find it for us, and we'll be able to look right, right at it. So, quite interesting for adults and for kids. If you've never actually physically seen the rings of Saturn with your naked eye, it's very interesting and awe-inspiring. If you haven't seen various clusters of stars in the galaxy and the nebula and the gases that surround them, it's like I said, it's very interesting, very awe-inspiring to consider God's creation, and actually view it and see it with your own eyes that way. It's like when you go to the Grand Canyon and look over, or some of the other natural sights and wonders that that God has created in His creation. This is another one. We can't go to the stars directly at this time in our history, but we can see them and see them up close. So we would love to have you out for our inaugural service, again at 728 West Main Street in Jinx, Oklahoma. 74037 is the zip code if you're using your own GPS system to get there. And we also want to make you aware of the various outreach ministries that we will be kicking off this upcoming week, beginning January 7th, with our ACTS training club, our ACTS self-defense club that we will be starting every day, Monday through Thursday, from 4 p.m. to 8. We will be having training in self-defense. Not sport karate, not MMA, and that sort of thing, but the type of commando training that our special forces go through. Teaching you how to defend yourself against an armed attack, against a handgun attack, against a rifle or a shotgun attack, an assault weapon attack, a knife attack, blunt instrument attack. How do you defend against those types of attacks? Nothing, no sport application. It's pure self-defense. And, the Lord just keeps speaking to me about these things, and we've decided to add another class to this, and we're calling that our M&M class, our movement and meditation class. Many of you have seen or maybe know about Tai Chi, Bagua, Zingi, the internal arts of, the martial arts. We will have a class that will meet in the mornings at 7 a.m. We have 4 classes in the ACTS training, and we're going to have 4 classes in the movement and meditation, where I'm going to teach you about meditation and teach you about movement, using those ancient arts to meditate and to breathe. It's a healing class. If you have arthritis, I don't care if you have any type of thing that you need healing from. This is going to be a vehicle that we use to facilitate healing. Not only will I be teaching you these slow movements from Tai Chi and the breathing and the development of breathing and the Chi and the Ki from these movements, but also the meditation involved. How to retrain your mind so that your body can heal itself. We got a very interesting, I guess, with your Facebook post this past week where someone said that they had a friend who was just tired of thinking negatively all the time. So they just couldn't help but think negative. And they're always unhappy because of these negative thoughts. That's precisely the thing that this ministry deals with. If you have negative thoughts all the time, pretty soon you're going to have ailments. Your body's going to go into a disease state. And so really the root level of all sickness and disease is sin. And the root level of all sickness and disease is usually right here between our ears, in our minds, in our brains, how we think, what is our emotional responses to the circumstances of life. Do we respond in a way that promotes healing or self-healing, or do we respond in a way that will eventually lead to a disease state? We're a healing, as you heard me say it all the time, we're a healing and deliverance ministry. Sometimes we have to heal and deliver you of yourself. We have a saying that, one of our mentors had a saying, I should say, that our ministry is the evangelizing the Christian. What is that? How did they exactly say that?
Evangelizing the unbelieving heart of the believer.
Say that again.
Evangelizing the unbelieving heart of the believer.
Evangelizing the unbelieving heart of the believer. Very interesting, but so true. Yeah, that is what one of the things that we do. We are evangelists to the unbelieving hearts of the believers, let alone those who don't believe or don't know Yeshua at all. But healing is our goal. And our ministry is on the cutting edge of healing. We're into neurotheology, neuroplasticity of the brain, using that concept and that fact to heal you, to form new neural pathways, to help you develop that. One of the best ways to help you do that is through meditation. And instead of me just sitting up here and preaching it to you and hammering it, that way, because, quite frankly, you're resistant to that. You fall asleep, or you sit there and go numb, or you zone out after a while, or I'm tired of him preaching, I'm tired of hearing him talk. So this is a creative way. Not only is it just creative, but it is a healing way. It is healing in motion, healing in action. And while that is taking place, while you are breathing and doing the movements and meditating on the things that I'll teach you to meditate on and teach you how to meditate using guided imagery, basically telling you to have this image in your mind. If you're having problems with your kidneys, to see this occurring in your kidneys as you do these different postures and meditations, and thereby bringing healing to you. If you are on medication for something, that medication will work more effectively. And pretty soon you may even be able to get off of it completely. Healing is the goal. All healing comes from God. You know, Satan can't cast out Satan. Beelzebub doesn't, you know, we don't cast anything out by the finger of Beelzebub. I have, you know, in our ministry, you know, if someone has something to say about it, I will literally have to say, do the blind see and the lame walk? We have ministered to people who have had cancer and been healed. We've ministered to people who've had multiple sclerosis and been healed. All different types of various chronic and life-threatening deadly diseases. So, you know, unless you have, you know, can come up and say, look here, you know, I'll heal you, you know, I can heal you this way, you don't have to go to, you know, unless you can come up and actually do that and have a track record, you know, maybe you should shut up and join us. You know, ask questions, learn, have an open mind. We teach nothing that is not in the Bible. Everything that we teach is in the Bible. It's biblically founded in the Word of God. So check out our website, Acts Training, ACTSTRAINING.weebly.com. That's WEEBLY. And our ministry webpage at edzhayim.weebly.com, ETZHAYIM.weebly.com. I don't know, what is it focusing? Can they see that? Okay. Those are two of the websites. As you're looking at that one, let me give you another one. TheDominionTeam.com. 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 Another one of our outreaches is our Transfer of Wealth Club. That will be beginning next week also. So beginning January 7th, 4 p.m. at our new facility, we have the Acts Training. January 8th, Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock, we will have the first meeting of the Transfer of Wealth Club. Every Tuesday thereafter, we will have a free conference call that you can call into and ask questions about, you know, the Transfer of Wealth Club. We're particularly interested in helping people own their home free and clear and helping you get completely debt free. I own my, you know, I'm debt free. I'd like to show you how to do that also. Okay? And how you can own your home free and clear. The next, like I said, we also have just added the movement and meditation course. That will meet Fridays at 5 p.m. in the evening, Saturday morning at 7 a.m., Sunday morning at 7 a.m., and Monday morning at 7 a.m. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday morning at 7 a.m. and Fridays at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. on Fridays. And that class will begin, the movement and meditation and healing will begin February 1, Friday, February 1. Okay? So, you know, the Holy Spirit just put it on my heart to teach that course. I don't know what took me so long. Almost 20 years ago, I used to teach this same course at the Easter Seal Rehabilitation Center in Fairfield, Connecticut. You know, people who were recovering from strokes. And I used to teach meditation and movement to help them recover from stroke. If you're in a wheelchair, you can take this course. If you can't stand, you can take this course. If you can barely, I had stroke victims who were, paralyzed on one side of their body, and they were even, I could even, they were starting to regain movement in those paralyzed, limbs by taking these courses and doing the breathing. If you can breathe, you can take this course. Okay? Did you hear me? If you can breathe, you can take this course. Now, if you can't breathe, then you can't take this course. Okay? If you have arthritis, if you have crippling arthritis, you can't stand, you're recovering from a stroke, you can barely talk, you've got all kind of braces on your hands and arms and legs or whatever, you can still take this course. Every morning, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and Monday morning, the Shabbat weekend. Best time for healing. It's when the anointing is available. So we will meet 4 times a week, just like the Acts training meets 4 times a week, but Monday through Thursday, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. The movement and meditation and healing will meet Saturday, Sunday, and Monday at 7 a.m., except on Friday, we will meet at 5 p.m. in the evening as Shabbat begins to fall. Best time for healing. Best time to receive that anointing. Okay? So you can find out some more information. We're putting up some things on there in the next couple of days under the Acts training website. And, we'll have some more information there. Also some scriptures that support what we're doing there as well. But these are outreaches of our ministry. We're, like I said, we're a healing ministry. And we, rather than just do things the way everybody has always done them, there is really not anything new in what we do. It's just been out of the church for so long, we're bringing it back, believe it or not. So a lot of interesting things coming up for the beginning of the month of January, beginning this week, January 7th. Remember, January 8th, we have the meeting of the Transfer of Wealth Club, and it will meet every first Tuesday of the month. With the exception, this month we're meeting the second Tuesday because New Year's Day was the first Tuesday of the month this month. But after this, every first Tuesday of the month, the Transfer of Wealth Club will be meeting. You don't have to, if you can't be there live, you can watch it on Ustream, just like, some of you are watching me now. They will be recorded. Membership, of course, is free, and you can watch it, on Ustream. Okay? Now, one other thing I want to mention before I move on and get into tonight's lesson is the fact that the movement and meditation course, the healing, we will also broadcast that live on Ustream. So I don't care if you're in Montana somewhere or Alaska somewhere, you can get up in the mornings and do these exercises and meditations and movements with us over the internet, live. If you can't do them with us live, we will record them so that you can pull them up and watch them anytime that's convenient to your schedule. But you would have to be a member of that club. We are seeking a donation for the movement and meditation of $50 a month per person. Of course, if you're over the internet, you can pay $50 a month and you can invite the whole neighborhood over if you want to. I'm not going to be ridiculous and say, well, you should, you should, hopefully those who watch will be led by the Spirit to give us a donation. But you can begin that way. That's okay. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're stealing or anything like that. The main thing that we want to do is get the word out. And hopefully the Ruach will lead you to give a donation. But if you are a member, if you signed up, then you will have the code to to watch us live and to watch the recordings. So it's no excuse. You can do this anytime, day or night, by watching the recorded broadcast from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. No matter where you live, the anointing will still be fresh. No matter what time you watch and follow along, and no matter where you're at. So, the ACTS training, the self-defense, is also $50 a month per person. Most martial arts training today is usually about the cheapest you usually see is like 80 to 100 bucks a month, and a lot of places are charging $150 a month for martial arts training, for sport, that sort of thing. And we want to keep this affordable. If there's a particular hardship, we do have scholarship assistance available. If you let us know. Okay. A little bit more, you can contact us at 955, area code 918-955-7971. That's area code 918-955-7971. Our mailing address is 8177 South Harvard Avenue, number 606, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 74137. Our email is tree_of_life@sbcglobal.net. That's TREE_of_life, LIFE, at Samboycat, SBC Global, just like a globe, GLOBAL.net. I think that's covered about every way you can get in touch with us, with the exception of smoke signals. Okay? Now, hopefully you have gone to our website and downloaded the pages from our website for tonight's lesson, because we're going to be referring to page 11, entitled, at the top there, it'll say syllables. And it's going to be a very short lesson tonight, as will tomorrow's lesson. The 5th lesson will be a short lesson also. But let's go over the rules for dividing syllables. Okay, remember that each syllable has to have a consonant and a vowel. First, it must have a consonant. Second, it must have a vowel. Each syllable has at least one consonant and only one vowel. It can have two syllables, it can have two consonants, but it can only have one vowel. So you have a consonant plus a vowel, that is called an open syllable. A consonant plus a vowel and another consonant is called a closed syllable. Let me do that again. A consonant and a vowel is called an open syllable. A consonant plus a vowel and another consonant is called a closed syllable. Did I say that correctly? Did I say anything goofy? Okay. All right. I'll correct it one more time. Every syllable must have first a consonant and then at least one and only vowel. And that is called an open syllable. A syllable can also have a consonant plus a vowel and another syllable at the end, which is a closed syllable. Just look at page 10 and review the lesson from last week if I confused you in any way tonight or whatever. Okay? Let's look at 0.29, page 11. At the top, it says syllables. If you, all you have to do is go to our webpage at him.weebly.com, follow the prompts, and you can print out these sheets and follow along. If you want to take a moment to do that, go ahead. Um, we will move on. All you have to do, like I said, this is recorded for you. You can pause and go over it as many times as you like. But 0.29, dividing syllables. Syllables are divided by working from the end of the word to the beginning. Syllables are divided by working from the end of the word to the beginning of the Hebrew word. Remember, Hebrew is read from right to left. Hebrew is read from right to left. So if you go to the end of a Hebrew word, you're going to go to the left-hand side, the furthest you can go to the left. And then going backwards in that word will be going from left to right. Okay. Each syllable has only one vowel. It must begin with a consonant, as I said earlier, and may be open or closed depending on whether the syllable ends in a consonant or not. It's open if the syllable ends in a vowel. It's closed if the syllable ends in a consonant. Every syllable has to have at least, well, it has to have at least one vowel and one vowel only for it to be a syllable. So the minimum requirements for a syllable in Hebrew is a consonant plus a vowel. And we call that an open syllable. If it has a consonant plus a vowel and then a syllable, then it's a closed syllable. All right. To divide syllables, begin at the end of the word. Find the first vowel. You're going from left to right, from the end of the word, going back to the beginning of the word. You say, to divide the syllable, begin at the end of the word. Find the first vowel and the consonant preceding it. This is the first syllable. Find the next vowel and the consonant preceding it. And this is the next syllable. I wish they would give you a few examples here. But let's look at the top of the page right there. We have three words. Okay? Beginning with the first word there on the left, someone find the first syllable for me. What's the first consonant going from the end of the word toward the right? What would be the first consonant? Come on, people, you're looking right at it. Say what? No, I said you go to the end of the word and then count back. Hebrew is read from right to left. No, that's not the first. Well, it depends on. Okay, we'll do it that way. We'll do that word right there that you're looking at. Okay, all right. You have what's the first consonant?
Mem.
Mem.
What kind of mem is that?
Final.
Final mem. Okay. Now, what's the first vowel? You just found the first consonant. What's the first vowel? Say what? The here it go. Now, what does it say there? It says, find the first, it says, to divide a syllable, begin at the end of the word. Find the first, we found the first consonant. We weren't supposed to do that, but find the first vowel, which is what? Here it go. Find the first vowel and the consonant preceding it. The consonant that comes before it. Now, what is the consonant that precedes it? Huh? Nope. What does precede mean?
Before.
comes before.
Now look, it's starting backwards, but you're going to.
Okay. So when it says, I kind of threw you off a little bit when I told you to find the first consonant, which is final mem, and then find, the verb, the vowel, which is here yo. That may have thrown you some. You don't find the first consonant. You find the first vowel. The first vowel is here yo.
You're starting from the left, going to the right. Find the syllables by starting at the end of a word. Okay? Everybody with that?
So now, the first consonant is here yo. What is the first consonant preceding that vowel? Which consonant comes before that vowel of here yo? Top. Okay. What have we just done?
First syllable.
The first syllable. Tell me what is the first syllable. Tell me the consonants and vowels in order that make up that syllable. Come on, what was that? No, I said tell me the whole vowel. I mean the whole syllable.
Tim or team?
Okay. Tav, I said just tell it to me. Tav, Hirik Yo, final mem, as Meshach said. Tav, Hirik Yo, final mem. Now how would you pronounce that?
Team or Kim?
It would be Tim, like Tim. T-I-M. Tav has the T sound. Hirik Yo has a short I sound. Okay? Hirik Yo has the short I sound. So it would be T-I-M, Tim. Okay? Now, find the next. Okay, now, is that syllable that we just found, is it open or closed?
It's closed.
Why is it closed? It's Tav, Hirik Yo, Mem. Is it open or closed?
Closed.
Why is it a closed syllable?
Because at the end.
What?
Is at the end.
Say it precisely, because
at the end.
What's at the end?
The syllable is at the end of the word.
No, it's not the syllable, not because the syllable comes at the end of the word.
It ends with the consonant.
Because what?
It ends with the consonant.
Because it ends with a consonant. A closed syllable ends with a consonant. An open syllable ends in a verb. A vowel. An open syllable ends in a vowel. Okay? Now, what's the next vowel? The next vowel. Quamas. Okay? What is the consonant that precedes it?
This is a resh.
Yeah.
It's a resh. That's the next syllable. The resh comes before the quamas. Do you understand that? Okay. So tell me now, what is that syllable? What comprises that syllable?
Okay. Ra.
I said what comprises. I didn't say pronounce it.
Sorry, a resh and a quamas.
A resh and a quamas. Now pronounce it.
Ra.
Ra. Okay. Is it open or closed?
Open.
What?
Open.
Why?
It ends with a vowel.
Because it ends with a vowel. So far, if we were pronouncing this word, it would be ratin. Ratin. Okay? Now, find the next vowel. Okay.
There's two little dots, right?
Okay, that's called a shiva or a Schwa. Okay. So is that a syllable?
No.
Or is that a vowel?
Okay.
Now,
It's a vowel, is it silent?
Okay, now the plot thickens. I'm gonna say this again. We have found two syllables so far. Going from the end of that word. We have tav, hirik yod, and mem. Okay, that's a syllable.
Yeah.
We have resh and kramas. That's a syllable. Okay. Now, my next question. Listen carefully.
Okay.
Find the next vowel. Where is the next vowel?
would that be Segal?
What?
Wouldn't it be Segal? Because it's Siva. Would be
Yes. Go ahead. What?
It would be Segal because the Siva is silent, right?
It would be the Sigo because the Shiva is silent.
Oh, I was gonna say, is it?
It would be the Sigo because the Shiva is silent. Now, what is the first consonant preceding the Sigo?
Nothing to see.
The Aleph.
Oh, that's right. Now it is.
Okay.
Oh.
So now tell me what is that? Tell me what letters and vowels make up that consonant
I'd be like
in order.
Aleph, Segal, and Pei.
Aleph, Sigo, and Pei.
Okay, right.
Okay, Aleph, Sigo, and Pei. Would someone like to pronounce it?
That'd be
F, and that's a
How do you pronounce? How do you put? Olives are usually silent
F,
or gutturals. Okay. What is the Sigo? How is that? What sound does the Sigo make?
F, and
Just tell it to me. Don't say this out. Tell me what sound does the Sigo make?
Short E.
What?
short E.
Short E.
Short E. What sound does the letter Pei make?
F.
What?
F.
Why is it F?
No, the rest of it.
Because there's no it's a begad kapat letter.
Right.
And there's no dagesh there, so it is Fe, like F-E, Fe.
Right.
So that to pronounce that word would be Ephratim.
Okay, very good.
Ephratim.
What does that mean?
Okay. Ephratim. Now, is the first syllable there, we found it as F. Is it open or closed?
Close.
Why is it closed?
The Siva is silent, so that makes the Pei.
So that means it ends in pay, so it's a closed syllable, Ephratim.
Okay, so if it is silent, it doesn't count.
Okay.
Okay.
Remember, a Shiva, if it begins a word, you pronounce it. If it comes in the middle of a word, it means usually that it's ending the syllable and it's silent. If two Shivas occur back to back, which one do you pronounce and which one is silent?
The first one is down.
No.
The first one is silent. Sorry.
The first one is silent and the second one is pronounced. In other words, the first one is going to end the syllable.
Mhm.
And the second one will be beginning a syllable. So you pronounce it.
Okay.
Okay?
And it would be a closed syllable still.
Say
It
what?
would be an open syllable then.
It would be a closed syllable. Well, it would be closed.
If the second Shiva swab is sounded,
Well, the first of the syllable before it is going to have a consonant preceding it. It'll be just like Ephratim. It's going to be a close. It means that it has to be a closed syllable. Good. Now, let's look at that second word. Okay, coming from the back, from the end of the word to the front. What is the first vowel called?
The top,
What?
No,
that's a final,
I said coming from the end of the word. You have to start, you count from the end of the word to the front of the word.
last word, the final,
No, I said, what is the first vowel called?
That's home.
work on the second word now. The middle,
Yes.
one in the middle.
What is the first vowel called?
Home.
Holem vav.
Okay.
Okay, what is the first consonant preceding it? I said, what is the first consonant preceding the Holem vav? Lamed.
Oh, they already said preceding.
The Holem and the vav are the entire vowel. That vav is not a consonant. It is a vowel. It's part of the Holem vav. Okay? So that whole, just like a Hirig Yod, you have to have a Hirig and a Yod. A Holem vav, you have to have a Holem and the vav. Okay, let's do it one more time. The first vowel is what?
Home.
A Holem vav. The first consonant preceding it is what? Lamed. Now tell me what makes up this syllable. Lamed, Holem vav, and what?
That's a final noon.
Final noon. How would you pronounce it?
Lon.
Lon, L-O-N. Okay. Find me the next vowel. It's the patah. Okay. What is the first consonant preceding it?
Mem.
Mem.
No.
Yes, it is.
What? I got you said.
I said find me the first vowel in the next consonant.
The first, I'm thinking going in order. I keep looking in the middle.
Nope, you go from the end to the beginning.
Okay, so you're working from the end, and then you're working from the beginning, and then you, okay.
No, I don't. I'm working from the end to the beginning. I don't jump from the end to the beginning.
Okay.
You're just dealing with shorter words here. Okay. Now, what is the first vowel after that Holem vav? It's the patah. What is the first consonant preceding it?
Mem.
Mem. Tell me what comprises this syllable.
Mem, Betah, and Het.
Mem, patah, and the tet. Why don't we count that shiva there?
Because it's silent.
Because it's silent. Pronounce that vowel.
Small.
Mat. Mat. Mat long. Remember, the accent or the stress is on the last syllable. All right? Mat long, excuse me. Now, I'm going to go back to that first word. I want to ask you something. Remember in the middle, the second syllable there in the middle, the resh and the qamats?
Yeah.
We said that was a qamats, R-A.
Right.
How do we know that it's not a qamats hatu?
Only a closed, unaccented syllable.
Right, and what type of syllable is this?
That one's open.
It's open. So it doesn't matter if it's accented or not, it's an open syllable. So it has failed the first test or requirement to be a qamats hatu. A qamats hatu, which looks just like a qamats, has to be in a closed, unaccented syllable.
I wish you had a erasing board to write.
That would be at the end of the word.
Usually, not always. Usually. I would know. I would say usually it will not be at the end of the word because remember in Hebrew, the accent or the accented syllable or the stressed syllable is usually at the end of the word. So a kumatatu, even if it's in a closed syllable, probably will not occur at the end of the word. A kumatatu is going to probably occur somewhere in the middle or maybe at the beginning of a word. The most unlikely place for a kumatatu is going to be at the end of a word. Okay? Now let's go to the last word there. Where is the first vowel? Maybe. Let's review one of our rules here. We had some funny vowels. Remember I told you whenever you see yod and vav together, take special note. That is a diphthong. You have yod and a holim vav together, right?
Yeah.
Both the yod and the vav, which are normally consonants, are now a vowel with that holim. Remember? Go back to page 7. Page 7. It'll say the Hebrew vowels at the top of the page. Go to 0.20. Okay. The third vowel down there is what? Yod, holim, vav, right? Both those consonants along with the holim are the vowel. Y-O, yo. Okay? A diphthong.
Okay.
So the first vowel here is yod, the holim, and the vav, yo. What's the first consonant that precedes it? No, yod is the vowel. The first consonant that precedes the vowel. It's the lamed, yes.
Okay. Next syllable. Okay.
I said, what is the next consonant that precedes the vowel? The vowel is yod, holim, and the vav. All three of those entities form one vowel. So what is the first consonant that precedes that one vowel? Lamed. Okay? So that, according to the rule, that is the first syllable. Someone tell me, in order, what comprises that syllable that we just found?
Yod, holim, vav, nun.
Say it again.
Yod, holim, vav.
No, that does not. That is wrong. Tell me what is in the syllable. What is in the syllable that we just found?
You just said it.
No, he did. He said yod.
He said yod, holim, vav, and nun.
No, that's not it. That's not the syllable.
Okay, it's a diphthong.
I already told you it was a diphthong.
We don't know what you said then. We just don't know what to say.
I didn't ask you anything that I haven't asked you the whole time. First of all, tell me what the vowel is. Tell me what comprises the vowel.
The yod and the holim vav.
The yod and the holim vav. Those three things make one vowel. You got that?
Yeah.
All three of those are one vowel. What is the first consonant that precedes that diphthong? Lamed. Now tell me what comprises this syllable.
And you saying the lamed comprises it? Is it?
Yes, of course.
It's just not
Here
written
says
that
it's
way, that's why you're
different.
confused.
I don't, it is written that way.
Actually, there's a dash after the llama that makes us think it's a separate syllable. All the syllables.
No, that's just, that's not what that's for.
There's
Just
no dash.
ignore the dash.
Well, there's dashes in all of them.
Yeah, you can use
What?
There's dashes in all the words.
I know, and you've been ignoring it, and all of a sudden now you want to bring it in.
No,
The
it's been
gas
working,
is
and it's been working.
It's not, you ignore it. It may have worked, but it's not there for that purpose. Follow the rules that we gave.
Well, you
You
said.
count from, I didn't know, I said count, go to the end of the word,
Right.
find the first vowel, then find the first consonant that precedes it. That will be a syllable. What's your question?
Okay, you said there were three things that comprise that vowel. That's what throws us off, because we see two, but you're saying there's three.
You see a yod,
Right?
you
That's
see
why-
a holum,
that-
and you see a vav.
Oh, it's a vowel, vowel.
It's not a holum vav.
Oh. The whole-
It's a diphthong. It is Y-O. The yod is Y, and the holum vav is O.
Right.
Yo.
Okay.
You saw that back on point 2-0.
Okay.
No, don't tell me okay. You're not getting it.
Yeah, but it sounds so.
No, I'm just emphatic. I'm just, you can't stand the sound of my voice. My goodness.
No, it just sounds like you're getting on.
I'm just emphasizing. I'm being me. You just got to get used to me. That's how I talk. Whatever. We call it getting on you, whatever. I'm correcting you.
So you got the yo, the holum, and the vav, is that one vowel. And
As I
the preceding consonant is lamed, and you're saying we're supposed to pronounce the lamed with the yon.
Yes.
Yon.
It would be L and then Y-O-L. Elyon. Elyon. Because you guys still didn't tell me what comprises that syllable.
The yon and the whole lamed in the middle. You're saying it's.
No.
There's llama, Siva.
Tell me individually what comprises that syllable.
There's llama,
Lamed, what?
Shiva, the home.
No.
Not yod, and.
No, start at the beginning. What comprises that vowel?
He's telling you, not even the vowel. I don't know if the vowel, not the whole.
No, the syllable, excuse me. What comprises that syllable?
The whole
The
syllable.
lamed.
The
Are we
Siva.
okay so far?
The
Lamed is
lamed,
first?
Siva.
Oh, no, I'm hearing Shiva, I'm hearing Lamed. We'll start again.
Lamed.
Lamed, what's next?
Shiva.
No.
Lamed, you know who it is? We see it, Shiva. Lamed, yeah, we're sorry, we don't know about those two lines not there, because you just don't.
What is the rule say? Go do the rule.
We don't understand or learn.
You do understand it, you just don't want to do it. What's the rule? How do you find a vowel? How do you find a vowel? Someone tell me. No, excuse me, not a vowel. How do you find a syllable? Give me the rule. How do you find a syllable? Someone tell me what the rule is for finding a syllable.
Working from the end of the word to the beginning, syllables are only one vowel.
No, you just used the word beginning. You just messed up. What does the rule say about how to find a syllable?
Every syllable begins with a consonant but may end in a
No, that's not the rule for finding a syllable. You're telling me the rule of you're telling me a different rule, but to find a syllable, you're telling me what a syllable is comprised of. It has to be comprised of a consonant and a vowel, at least. Every syllable has at least one vowel and one vowel only, period.
Why don't you just tell us? 'Cause we obviously.
No, because I have told you, you don't get it. I told you I don't know how many times.
All right.
And you say I'm getting on you.
You want us to say the first syllable is lamed.
No, I want you to tell me the rule
The rule
for
is
finding a syllable.
working from the end of the word first. You have to start at the end of the word first. Find the very first consonant.
No,
That you separate.
No.
to separate-
no, no. Tell me someone.
Alright.
It's right there in front of your face. All you gotta do is read it. No, you did not. You did not read it.
Syllables are
You said
divided
find. You
by
said
what
find.
from the
You
end.
said find the first consonant.
It's funny yelling.
Because you're telling me that you read something and you didn't. You said find. You read. What you said was you start at the end of the word.
No one wants to.
Hold it. Just please be quiet. Give the teacher the respect that you're supposed to give him. Stop thinking of me as your father, your husband, or whatever. You said start at the end of the word. Find the first consonant. That's wrong.
Okay.
That's why I stopped you. Okay, Misha,
Okay,
tell me. No, hold it. I'm gonna repeat my question. Read me the rule or tell me the rule in your own words. Either read it or tell me correctly in your own words. How do you find a syllable in a Hebrew word?
Okay, so if you want to find syllable, you get to know how to divide syllables, right?
It's called dividing syllables.
Okay, on 0.29, it says dividing syllables, and it says syllables are divided by working from the end of the word to the beginning. Each syllable has only one vowel. It must begin with a consonant and may be open or closed, depending upon whether the syllables ends in a consonant. To divide a syllable, begin at the end of the word, find the first vowel and the consonant preceding it. This is one syllable. And
Say that part again.
find the first vowel. I said that.
I know. Say,
Okay,
say
find the
you
first
may
vowel.
have, but everybody else was shouting this. I didn't know who was saying what. Read that part again.
Find the first vowel and the consonant preceding it.
Okay? So you find a syllable by first finding the first vowel, working from the end of the word toward the beginning of the word. You find the first vowel, and then the consonant that precedes it, or as the book says, the consonant that precedes it, or you can say the first consonant that precedes it, more precisely. So in doing that, with this last word here, let's do it again. Where is the first vowel? Where is it? What is it called?
There's a diphthong of the yod and the whole.
Okay, it's a diphthong.
I was still telling you.
Okay, it's a diphthong, yes. What's the rest?
The yod, then the holum, and then the vav.
Right. How is it pronounced?
Yo.
Yo. The Y of the yod is pronounced, and then the O, of the holum vav. Yo. All three of those entities or characters make one syllable. Yod, holum, and the vav make one syllable. Okay, so you have now found, one vowel. I keep saying those three entities or characters make one vowel.
I think you said it right the first time.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay, you have a yod, a holum, and a vav. Okay, or a yod and a holum vav, whatever. Y-O. Now, now that you have found the first vowel, find the first consonant that precedes that vowel. Lamed. According to the definition, what have you now done?
You found the first syllable.
You found the first syllable. In other words, when you find the first consonant that precedes the first vowel, that is the syllable. Now tell me what comprises the syllable.
It's lamed, diphthong, yod, home, vav, and then final name.
Correct. That is the first syllable. Lamed,
Good.
the diphthong and final noon. Okay? Will someone like to pronounce that syllable? Elyon, Lamed, and then the Y-O and the final noon, Elyon. Okay? Now find me the next vowel. It's a hearing. Okay? Now find me the consonant, the first consonant that precedes it. Cough. Tell me, what does that syllable consist of?
Cough here.
Cough, hearing. What is the sound that a hearing makes?
Short I.
Short I. What is the sound that the cough makes?
C.
What?
Okay.
C-A is a
Okay.
zero.
Pronounce the word so far.
Kid.
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 It's kid. The word so far is kill. Kid.
Kid Elyon.
Elyon.
Okay. Now, find me the next vowel.
Shiva.
This is Shiva.
Okay.
What is the first consonant that precedes it?
Vowel.
That's a
Vav. Okay. Is that Sheila vocalized or is it silent?
Vocalized.
Why is it vocalized?
This is at the beginning.
Because it's at the beginning of the word. Pronounce the word.
Vet. The whole word.
Elyon.
Zeki Elyon. And God. Vav is a inseparable preposition. Whenever you see Vav at the beginning of the word, it means and. Elyon. So, and God. Whenever you see a hey and a patah up under it, that's the preposition the. Yeshua ha, H-A, Mashiach. Yeshua, the Messiah. Beit is also at the beginning of the word an inseparable preposition, meaning in. Okay? There you have it. You can almost read and pronounce Hebrew if you remember the rules and apply them exactly as they're spelled out for you. What is one of the key things that you're going to have to do in order to read and pronounce Hebrew correctly? First thing you're going to have to do, you're going to have to recognize the Hebrew letters, right? Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, so that you can get the sounds right. Correct?
Right.
What's the next thing you're going to have to know in order? What?
Learn the vowels.
You got to learn the vowels. Most of you remember what the seri is and the qamats and that, but these diphthongs, going back to page 7, remember I told you, whenever you see a yod and a vav, you gotta pay special attention because it might be a diphthong. And remember, we not only do we have herit yods, but we have sagol yods and we have seri yods. And we even have a patah yod. Okay? So you have to watch it. Then we have a holem vav and a yod, which is oi. Then we have a yod and a shirt, which is you, like yuhu. Then we have the one that we just saw, a yod and a holem vav, which is yo. And then we also have a komatz, yod, and vav, which is ah, pronounced ah. And then, of course, the patah yod, which is pronounced like the AI in aisle, walking down an aisle, up and down an aisle of a theater or a grocery store. So you have to first of all, of course, recognize and know the consonants, the letters, the 22 Hebrew letters. Then you have to know the begad kapat letters so that you can recognize them to see whether or not they have a dagesh, which is going to harden the sound, or if they don't have a dagesh, which means they will soften the sound. I'm not going to go over it because we've got it recorded. All you have to do is go back and watch the past 3 lessons, review them as many times as it takes to get that information in you, especially the vowels. You've got to learn those begad kapat letters. You got to know what they are, who they are. How many begad kapat letters are there?
6.
6. Don't everybody speak at once. How many final form letters are there?
5.
Okay.
You want to say 5?
All right. I'm not even going to ask you what they are because it's in the previous lesson.
We have to study them to know everything.
Right. Everything, you've got everything. We'll do the final lesson tomorrow. And you'll see why you need to know those begad kapat letters in tomorrow's lesson. Okay? We can do example after example after example, but you've got the rule. Remember what the rule is. And, from here on out, we'll just actually read text. And we'll apply these rules to the text that we read in Hebrew. There's no need of just doing example after example after example after example by itself. After tomorrow, we will read the actual Hebrew Bible, and we will apply what we have learned in these 5 lessons to reading the actual Hebrew itself. That way, you'll begin to develop a vocabulary. Notice we haven't been that concerned about the vocabulary. We're just trying to learn the rules for recognizing and pronouncing, reading and pronouncing it. But as we'll do that through the actual, just like you did coming up in grade school. You started reading, and then the teacher told you what that word was, and then you have to remember it. You just have to remember what that word means. Simple as that, pure memories. No, can't get around it. The vocabulary that you have now is what you have been remembering over the years, whether you're in first grade, kindergarten, or in college. You have to remember what a word means. Just pure memory. Same thing when you learn a new language. Eventually, you can learn all the rules and everything there is to learn, but eventually you're going to have to remember that this word means this. Period. So we'll end there for tonight. Shabbat Shalom. We will see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for our throne room and healing service. And then at 1 o'clock for our Torah service. And then finally at 4:30, we will have our 5th and I shouldn't say final Hebrew lesson, but our 5th and final basic Hebrew lesson for reading and pronouncing Hebrew. Shabbat Shalom.